All right, hi people. Today we're going to take a little closer look on how Git can help you in your debugging flow. So let's say that you've come across a bug in your code base and you're unsure when that bug was introduced or when the faulty code was introduced into your code base. Now, the slowest and most tedious way of finding a bad commit is to check out a commit in your history. Check if your code is working or if the bad broken code is there. If not, check out a slightly newer commit, check again, and repeat this process over and over again until you actually find the flawed code. Now, the good news are that you don't have to do this manually or by hand. Git Bisect is a tool that will do that for you. And you can see some fantastic documentation of that tool on the screen, and you can find that in on the official Git documentation. Now, Git Bisect is like a little wizard that walks you through recent commits, asks you if they are good or bad, and narrows down the broken commit. How does it work? Well, without going into too many technical details, the idea behind Git Bisect is to perform a binary search in the history to find a particular regression. So, as I mentioned, Git Bisect is like a wizard. It guides you step by step through the process of elimination until you find the commit that broke your code. You start the wizard with a command, git bisect start, and it won't end until you type in git bisect reset. And we're going to take a closer look at that and see if we can get this thing off the ground. So, one thing that I would like you to do is to create a new folder in your in your whatever folder you are storing your projects in. In my case, it's called Craft Academy. I would like you to call that folder Bisect Demo, and I already created this one, so I'm gonna cd into this folder. It's an empty folder at this point, so we don't have anything in it. Now we're gonna do a little things here to set up this exercise. It will be an exercise where we'll take Git Bisect for a spin from a practical perspective. It's going to be a very simple demo, but it should at least show you how this tool can help you to track down erroneous code in your Git history. So for that, we're going to have to initiate a Git repository, and we're going to have to make a few commits. So I will include a set of commands in the description of this demonstration. So copy and execute this code in your terminal, and after that you should have a series of commits and a file that we can work with in this exercise. So we're going to do just that, like this, clear this thing and do a Git log to take a closer look at what we do have to work with. And I'm using the --1 line to preserve space. Otherwise, if you just do Git log, it's going to output a lot of text on your terminal. We don't need to do that. Okay, so let's find a bug. So we're going to take a look at the newly created file that is called monologue.txt. Here it is, and there is a glaring error. One of the lines of this well-known monologue, Introduction to the Best Science Fiction Series Ever Made, Star Trek, is faulty, right? The expression "to explore strange new worlds" is not correct. Something happened during our commit history, and at some point the commit of the words "strange new" was overwritten with the words "well known," which is weird, and that's totally unacceptable. And for the sake of this exercise, it will play the role of our bug. So let's go bug hunting. Let's try to find a commit that still has the words "strange new" and not the words "well known." We can take a look at our Git log on the screen, as you see, or in your own terminal. We know that the newest commit in the log is bad because that's where we are at the moment, so the head is not correct, it's faulty. So that's going to be our bad commit. And for the sake of simplicity, let's say that our good commit is the first commit where we actually introduce the line to explore strange new words. And in my example, it's going to be the commit with the commit message 4th line. Okay, so let's see if we can get started. As I mentioned earlier, we start the bisect process by just initiating it with start. So we do git bisect start, and I'm gonna look for the good commit, and the good commit will be the one where we introduce the 4th line. So it's going to be git bisect good, and the hash of that particular revision is going to be B251B93 for me. It will of course be something totally different on your system, and we're going to tell git bisect what is the errors code, and that's going to be my head, so it's going to be 685E215, like this. All right, so at this point Git Bisect has found, or it takes a look at one of the commits, and we can still see that this is not right, because we are still seeing this line where the words well known still appear. So I'm going to tell Git Bisect that this is a bad commit. So Git Bisect bad, and that will jump to another commit, and we can see now that it has found the right commit where these words do not appear. So we're going to say that this is the good one. So we just issue this command, and now the conclusion is that the error was introduced in this particular commit with the revision hash 32 ECC to yada yada, right? And that's exactly the one that we can see here. So we can quit this process. So we're going to say git bisect reset and clear the content, and we can also just open up the Git log just again. And so one thing that we know is that we need to do something about this and fix this problem. Now there are several scenarios, or several things you can do at this point, and I'm going to use the git revert command to revert any changes that were introduced in this commit. And there's a difference. Many of you are probably aware of this, but there's a big difference between git revert and git reset. Git reset sets the state back in history, whereas git revert is a totally different thing, because it reverts changes introduced in a specific commit and creates a new commit, so it puts us forward basically. Anyway, that's a different discussion. At this point I'm just going to do git revert and just pass in this hash, which pops open a new commit message file for me, or window for me in my VS Code, because I do have VS Code as my default editor for Git. I'm just going to save and close this file. We can see here that the monologue.txt is fixed. We see to explore strange new worlds back again, and the order is restored. At this point, if we do git log one line, we can see that we have a new commit, which is the revert commit of this of the faulty code, and that pretty much fixes our problem. Now there are many other things you can do if you want to use Git Bisect, and again I would encourage you to check out the documentation for this tool. You can find that on the official documentation for Git, and I will also link to that in my description. Thank you very much for watching. Check out craftacademy.co if you're interested in what we are doing, and if you want, you can subscribe to the channel. That's always nice. Thank you.